Would you like to know something that really pees me off? Well, naturally, there are lots of things. Things like Richard Madeley are obvious, but no, what this video is about today is that there are literally loads, hundreds of Roman antiquities in the English landscape that I am disbarred from getting access to because they are on private land.
In a report published late last year by Right to Rome, they quote more than 5,500 scheduled ancient monuments as being completely inaccessible on private land in England. The reality is likely to be far greater, with just 8% of land in England as open access. And despite over 140,000 miles of footpaths, most of our Roman and prehistoric earthwork remains lie off limits to you and I. And that's just the scheduled monuments. There will be many, many more unscheduled sites in the corners of private fields, and that's what we'll be looking at today.
Well, I have had enough of this situation, you could say. It has become untenable for me. So in this video, we are going to go and take a look to a number of Roman antiquities that exist on private land, and nobody is going to stop me. Oh, incidentally, I shan't be trespassing. We're going to do it with these.
Wait, don't leave. This is still interesting. Remember, drone plus LiDAR divided by Google Earth equals antiquarian bliss. So the idea of this investigation is to look at sites on private land, utilising these tools, and determine, do we actually always need to attend ancient sites in order to answer our questions? And don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for you to watch American police body cam footage of entitled drunk women getting arrested later.
For our first one, I'm actually parked in a lane which is closed. We're approaching a bank holiday and the roads are all closed, typical. Anyhow, what we want to take a look to is just over there, because just up there on the top of that low hill that you might be able to see behind me, locally it is believed that we have a Roman signal station up there, but it's totally private land there. So I've sent the drone up to take a look at it. It is not a scheduled ancient monument. I did once find something in writing acknowledging it as a potential Roman signal station, but I've been unable to find that for this video. I have seen it described on local Facebook pages actually as a Roman fort, but you know what local Facebook pages are like. It clearly isn't a fort. If it is anything, it feels most appropriate, most likely that it would be a Roman signal station. The sort of little hill that is on is perfect, and we have a lost Roman road somewhere nearby, lots of potential contender straight lanes. So it's a good position, I think, for a Roman signal station. On the drone footage, I think you can sort of see that it's something a little more than just a sort of a field or a pen. There are raised embankments up there. Now, I know a guy locally who does metal detecting with permission, and I'm not going to tell you exactly where he found it, but not very far from this at all. He found a really fantastic Roman coin, and I'm describing it as fantastic not just because we're on YouTube and we use these words too frequently. It really was fantastic because it predated the conquest, the Roman conquest of Britain, by something like about 50 years, as I recall. So a very old Roman coin to be up here in the northwest of Britain. They didn't even get here till sort of 70 AD, something like that in reality. So I don't know what it is, but we can't go and walk around and take a look to it. We've got this drone footage. What do you reckon? Are we looking at an antiquity, a Roman signal station, something like that? Or is it just a much more modern compound?
If we look at older maps, the structure is marked unlike today, and note how this was a track stroke road then, unlike today. That stone, however, is still there. I did get momentarily excited by these in the LiDAR. Roman quarries! Then I remembered the golf course. Zooming in on the LiDAR, the banks are quite distinct with a possible entrance here, but my concern would be the apparent absence of any ditches. The best Google Earth image from 2018 doesn't really help with that either. It is an odd one, and I'm not convinced I'd be any the wiser if I'd been able to walk up there, to be honest.
And here I am, outstanding in my field of amateur YouTube antiquarianism once again. And I unashamedly nicked that joke from a viewer. I'll put a little credit on the screen. Right, we are keeping this legal. I've just stepped through this hedge line, and now, believe it or not, I am on a Roman road. But there are absolutely no signs of it here whatsoever. We only know this is the course of the Roman road because of LiDAR. We used to think it was way over there. But that, sort of between the bottom of this hill there and that hedge line, that is the line of the Roman road over there. The only real sign, possibly this embankment over there on the side of the hill, may be an artificial cutting from when the road was constructed. Then if we come round this way, the Roman road curves around the bottom of this hill, and then it sort of eventually angles through that hedge line over there. Now, I'm probably sort of within the sort of margin of error now in terms of the footpath, but to go over there, I can't without breaking the law. So I've sent the drone up. Let's take a look at it.
There's the field corner that I'm in, obediently on the footpath, and if we rotate to follow the road line across to this, a deeply grooved cutting where the road terraced down to cross the Wenning, seemingly two grooves reflecting some bypassing as the road declined possibly. This is a rare physical appearance of an otherwise lost Roman road hereabouts. It's quite a striking feature, and yet no one made the connection until LiDAR showed the road was here and not under Robert Hall, as still shown on the Ordnance Survey. Or did they? Here's the 1847 Ordnance Survey, and the road is in the right field. We can track it side by side with satellite to show how much closer they were then. It shows well on the satellite too. Another one where, in reality, we've done okay, despite being disbarred. It has also been proposed that a later iteration of the road ran down here.
When I stand here looking at this, that is quite an interesting idea, you know, the idea of a sort of another road branching off at some time here, because this, what looks like a ditch, is quite wide. And, I'm trying not to break the rules of engagement too much, its continuation as this hedge line, if I stick my head in there, it's not particularly wide, but it could be the remnants of a deeply etched sort of holloway. There's an awful lot of stone in there as well, which is quite intriguing. So, you know, possibly even what we're looking at there is not a Roman road, but as this road deteriorated, that became a sort of alternative route down the side of the valley before that completely went out of use. Yep, thought so. Autumn.
Take a look at the LiDAR and I'll mark out the very faint line of our road as it circles around the bottom of this hill and then approaches the cutting that we've taken a look at there. Now, if we zoom in to the top of the hill, there we have our enclosure. You can see two clear circles, sort of assuming they are hut circles with an outer enclosure. Now, we just have a quick look at what that looks like from above. There it is on the hill above the cutting. Now, pretty much nothing to see here, really, other than the two hut circles appear to have sort of marshy growth in them. I guarantee there will be at least one comment about banjo enclosures based on that LiDAR. Anyhow, our footpath runs up the hill there.
I'm not sure if that's the base of a Romano British hut or if it's some sort of dew pond, But on the top of this, like low hill, looking down here, I love this. I can see, because I could see the how the Roman road would have curved around the base of that. I could just about make sort of through to our sort of dent where the road sort of angled down the hill there. And I can, we've got a fantastic view across to the cutting that re-emerges on the other side of the valley. Oops, I've broken the remit of the video. I've just checked on OS Maps app and I realised to look at those hut circles up on the top of the hill, I've wandered probably about 4 metres off of the public right-of-way here. So I sort of messed things up a little bit because we're meant to be doing this totally legal. So forget all of that bit and just, we saw that on the drone, didn't we? We saw that on the drone. But as you can see, there is absolutely no line of the footpath there. So what are we supposed to do? What is the actual legal position about how far what is the margin of error on an English public footpath? I don't know yet because I'm still out filming, but I'm interested, how sensationalist did I go with the old clickbait, the thumbnail? How much did I sell out? A private property keep out sign. Stroof. I am now upstanding in another field on the other side of the valley. Let's get that drone up and see what we can see.
There's the cutting that we've looked at. There is the opposing cutting. They think the road went straight across originally, but you can see the line of that later diversion that we have already discussed. Looking down, it's a distinct cutting on this side. Looking back, you can see our cutting on the other side. And here we are angling to get the road back on its alignment. No sign of it in the field. And then travelling down it, you can see the cutting on the southern side of the river that we've looked at. Look at this turn off to the left. That may be the remnants of that later diversion. You may have noticed I like saying cutting. Well, 2 extraordinary examples there, plus an elevated native settlement, an intriguing signal station possibility, and all viewed despite there being no public access. And it has to be said, scoring just 4 on our Maidley irritant scale for that. In reality, we got a pretty good idea of these antiquities despite no boots on the ground. None of these are scheduled monuments, so even if access is one day provided for those, it will do nothing about sites like these, which in reality would only ever become accessible to us with the introduction of right to roam laws such as they have in Scotland. Don't hold your breath for that. Anyhow, we have a new efficient off-camera style of ending to avoid embarrassment. So thanks to our members. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.